Hello YouTube, welcome in. This is a video from Markiplier from 9 years ago, and just looking at the names of the videos, these are things that a lot of people need to hear today. So I figured, let's watch something that y'all probably need to have heard again in your life, okay?
Hi guys, how's it going?
Great.
It's very late at night, which means that I'm a little bit loopy and very tired, but that's okay. I had some stuff in the morning that I needed to take care of. So I'm recording this in the evening prior so that it'll be ready for you guys and not late, which is something that I've been doing a lot. Not entirely my fault. YouTube has been...
Oh my god, is it hard to keep on track with all the things that you need to do as a content creator? Like, man, Young Free, before he became a content creator and all that, like... really young Free, before I really started to do all the research and everything, before I actually became content creator service thing. I looked at it and was like, man, it would be so cool to just sit down, play a video game all day, and then that'd be my job, and I get paid for it, it'd be great, yeah! Do you have any idea how much shit you have to do? Especially when you're an itty-bitty creator like me and you can't afford to get an editor? I do everything. I made my model, I made my overlays, I've made my own emotes, I've made literally everything on here. I put countless of hours and time and effort into this shit. And then, we watch the videos, I then have to edit them. Which you guys get on YouTube, there's a lot I have to cut out. I'm probably going to be cutting this down quite a bit. And just, there's a lot of effort that goes into these. It's one of the easiest jobs in the world, and your bosses are amazing, i.e. you guys. However, there's a lot to it. It's a busy thing.
really messing up on its processing. Things have been taking like 3 or 4 times as long as they usually do. But thank you again, guys, for your patience.
Wow, this was 9 years old. At least the videos are getting approved quickly. For better or for worse.
Also, I'm going to be going to Comic-Con this week, so I will have
9 years ago.
Have videos ready for that, and they should all be scheduled, which means that they'll be more regular than they ever have been because I made them way in advance. But other than that, this past weekend has been interesting because it's been very self-reflective, which is a thing that I do a lot. But in this particular case, it's been about, my past beyond YouTube. And I often talk about what I think about on YouTube and for what I've done on YouTube. But since I played That Dragon Cancer, I've been thinking about, my younger days, back when I still had the vibrancy of youth coursing through my veins.
9 years ago. Man still has more energy than most people in my... Probably still has about as much energy as he had back then. Mark does good for himself.
But I've been thinking about my dad and, my childhood and me growing up and also thinking back on old videos that I've done, of course. But in this certain circumstance, the one thing that stood out that I wanted to talk about in this vlog was the concept of believing in yourself. And it's a subject that I've talked about a lot, and it's something that I reinforce. But those are just words, believe in yourself. Those are words. It's not an instruction manual on how to be better in your life. And not that I'm qualified to tell you guys how to do that, but I am qualified to tell you guys how I've lived my life and how that's worked for me.
And that's something you always need to take into consideration when getting any kind of advice from anyone ever, whether you're looking for an how-to video on how to do something on YouTube, whether you're getting advice from a parent, when you're getting advice from a friend, whether even you're giving yourself your own advice. At the end of the day, that's all it is advice. It's not a end-all, be-all. It's not, this is a guarantee how it's going to work every single time. This is what worked for them. I can't tell you how I got any form of success. I can't tell you how Mark got any form of success. We can tell you what we did in order to get our independent forms of success. No, I'm not putting myself on the same level as Mark. God, no. However, I do have, the, EDB mild modicum of success. That's, I'm still trying to sit on the back of. Mark has got a huge amount of success, and it's only grown since he's made this video. However, you can't copy that. You can't do the exact same thing. A lot of VTubers have got their success because they have extremely good personalities. They have a good model that matches that personality, and they, went at the right time and did everything correctly the way that they needed to. Take the advice, copy it to some degree, but do things that is right for you. That's the thing that you need to really worry about. You need to do things that are right for you. But also take the critique.
And one of the most important things is something that I constantly need to remind myself of is that I don't have anything to prove to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that may seem like a bold claim because I do have a lot of expectations to meet, both with you guys and myself. But one of the things that always keeps me grounded is realizing that I don't owe anybody anything. Simply existing doesn't mean that you have a debt that you need to pay to the universe to exist. You exist whether or not you think and let yourself be stressed out by those ideas. And this is a very grandiose topic, but trust me, I'm going to bring it down into something cohesive that can be understood. But this whole concept of not owing anyone anything may seem sensible at its face, but sometimes it's very hard to get through in your day-to-day life. Because especially in the age of the internet...
I'm going to pause you right there. This is something I've talked about multiple times. Being selfish to some degree. You have to be a little bit more selfish for yourself because there's a lot of people, especially today, like in today's climate, there's a lot of people who believe that they themselves aren't worth anything. They believe that they should be martyring themselves in order to lift everything else and everybody else around them up. When that's not the case, you don't have to do that, okay? You should actually be focusing on who are you living for, what are you living for, and what do you do in order to make it to the next point of the day, okay? Live for yourself and live the values that you want to live for. But you gotta live. You gotta grow. You gotta do the things that you need to do. But you don't have to owe anyone or anything. You're alive. Be happy you're alive. Be happy for the things you have. And fight for the things that you want to fight for. All there is to it.
You're constantly comparing yourself to other people, and you're constantly comparing yourself to other people in your field of study that may be better than you are at what you're doing. They may be better artists, better musicians, better, YouTubers. It doesn't matter.
I am so itty bitty. I'm a small artist who has very small following. I am a small YouTuber, very small following. I have had people coming up to me and saying, "Man, it is so unfair that you have gotten so good with what you have." And it's like, I put in so much fucking work for that. If I didn't put in that work, I wouldn't have any of it. You have to put in the work. That's what it is. And I'm not comparing myself to anybody. If anything, I look to Mark as inspiration. I look to Moist Critical for inspiration. I look to my parents for inspiration. I look to my peers, everybody. I look to you guys as inspiration. I don't compare myself to you guys because if I did that, I would just wallow in self-pity the entire time and not grow. I would just be focused on, oh, but this person's so much better at this than I am. It's like, shush with that. Yes, that's Markiplier. Yes, it is. He's so young and fresh and red-haired.
What subject it is, you'll often find yourself comparing yourself to others, and you'll sometimes feel like you owe it to yourself to be that good. And that is a horrible way of thinking because that may motivate you in the short term and you'll be able to get a lot of fuck you energy is what I call it. But in all honesty, that isn't what really is going to make you go the farthest. Because when you are constantly trying to meet the expectations of someone else, you're letting yourself...
What are you talking about? I am subscribed to him. That's joining membership. I can afford to do memberships right now.
Self down. And one of the things that's been hard for me to understand in my life is this concept that...
I will give it a like, though. Now, I'm going to back up because you derailed me.
And one of the things that's been hard for me to understand in my life is this concept that I don't need to focus on anyone else. I don't need to compare myself to anyone except myself. That's why I look back on my life so much, because I'm not comparing myself to other YouTubers. I'm not comparing myself to other artists or voiceover artists or actors if I want to do that thing. I'm not comparing to other people.
Oh, you did. And you did really good at it, in my opinion.
I'm comparing to my past self. And this may be yesterday, it may be years ago, it may be like my childhood self. Those are the only people in my life that I need to compare myself to. And hopefully, as I go through my life, I'm constantly getting better. I can look back at my past self, and I can be proud of what I've accomplished in the past for when it was. So you know where you've...
Yeah, that's an amazing way to look at it. Like, if you're going through life and you look at your past and say, wow, past self had it made, did they? Double look at it, because chances are good they went through a lot of shit in that moment and you've made it through to the other end. Or if they really have done a bit, we're doing better, why is that? Why did you get more complacent? Why is it that past self was more put together than you? What are you doing differently? The mic crapped out. Had to switch to camera audio. Oh shit.
Come from, and you know where you're going, because hopefully you've got a goal in mind. And I've actually talked about this in a video called Believe in Yourself, where I believe I was riding a bike and talking about this. But I meant it then, and I mean it now. You have a goal in mind, and this is a goal that just drives you forward. It's what you burn for in the middle of the night. It's what you lose sleep for. It is everything that consumes your life. This goal is what you want more than anything in the world, and it's right there waiting for you to take it, and it's literally right there. And it's...
For me right now, that is getting to a point where content creation can actually be a supporting, viable thing for me. It's going to be so hard to do that, I know, and if I can't after a little bit longer here, I'll probably have to start really like knuckling down and being honest with myself on a few things. But right now, like, that is what I'm doing. That is what I'm striving for. That is what I'm fighting for the most. I want to leave my mark. I want you guys to have this little space to learn and grow with. I want you guys to join me in this journey. And I want to create. I want to create. I've always wanted to create. I've always loved creating. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been fighting for so much as of late. Yeah, my past self has never been better in life than my current life. Past me went through the shitter, never too bad compared to other people, but yeah. And also, remember, pain is relative. Your pain is just as important as somebody else's. It might not be as bad as somebody else has, obviously, like, I had a shit day. I stubbed my toe. Somebody could then look over and be like, yeah, well, there's people starving in Africa, so fuck off. It's like, yeah, that doesn't matter. No, at the moment, you're in pain. You just stubbed your toe. Allow yourself to be in pain. It's fine. Recognize, yeah, there are people who are going through it worse, but don't belittle your own pains because somebody else is going through worse pain. That's just stupid. That's how we get people getting themselves really hurt, because it's like, there's people going through worse than this. There's people going through worse from this. Meanwhile, you're missing an arm, and it's like, people have gone through worse. I'll be fine. Just slap you upside the head and like go see a doctor.
What you want more than anything in the world, and that's what happened to me once I found YouTube. I wanted to be a YouTuber so badly. And I knew there were dozens, hundreds of other people trying to make YouTube happen. And if I had compared myself to them and held myself to their standard from the get-go, I would never have been anywhere. Mm-hmm. I would have been wallowing in self-doubt and self-pity at how, I don't have as many subscribers as them. I'll never get there. I set out only to do the best that I could. I could not live if I held myself to their standards and waited for their approval. I had to approve myself, and I had to hold myself to my own standards. And my standards are really high. Your
standards need to be high. Like, you keep your standards high for yourself, not for other people, not for any other thing. Keep your standards high for yourself, because that way you can keep yourself accountable. You can push yourself in order to do the right things. Funny you should mention missing an arm, because that's one of the reasons I went through the shitter. I almost lost my arm from a dog attack. My doctor says I shouldn't have used it because of how bad the attack was, but I have full use of it. Hell yeah! Oh, turns out I'm a dummy. Well, that's not fun. Oh, hold on. And thank you for the hydrate.
My standards may not seem high when I'm being asinine and childish in front of the camera, but my standards for what I do in my life are high. Because I've been increasing them every year that I've been alive. I expect more out of myself. I expect better out of myself. I expect better out of myself every day. And that all comes from the fact that I believe in what I do. And that's not to say I ignore outside opinions. I don't even ignore, like, people that lash out at me for what I've done in the past. I don't ignore that. I take that in. And I address that for what it is, and I influence and shape my life around it. But at the end of the day, I make things that I'm proud of.
Yeah. What he's saying here is one of the best things that anybody could ever tell you in terms of advice. Listen to this and run with it with your chest. If there is something you're not happy with in your life currently, fix it. Find out what that is. Isolate it. Cut it out if you need to, meld it in, and grow from it. If that thing is hurting you, why are you holding it? If it's an anxiety, why is your anxiety so high? If it's a fear, what are you afraid of? Or is it something you really need to be afraid of? Just so many things that people get like locked into, and then there's a lot of people who are like, can you hold my hand through this to their friends? Can you help me through this? You can ask your friends to do that, but you can't expect other people to do all the things with you in order to be able to do the things. Like, you need to actually grow for yourself. You need to actually do the things for yourself, because if you have somebody else holding your hand all the way through, then you're not going to feel as accomplished. You're not going to grow. You're going to have had your hand held and grown that way. Do your best for yourself. Ask for help if you need it. But a lot of the time, we live in such a information-rich age. If you have a question on how to do a specific task, Google it. That's all you gotta do. Google it. Google it a few times. Work it out. And have a heart. Have a heart for yourself, specifically. Look, I understand having a heart for everybody around you, but there's a lot of times where people will say, have a heart for the people around you, to the point where they will then hurt themselves in order to make sure other people are happy. You got to make sure you're happy first, otherwise you're not making anybody happy after that.
I make things that make me laugh. I make things that make me smile. And it's kind of a selfish way of thinking. But, and even though I would suggest you guys to be selfless and help those around you, at the end of the day, you are you. And you have you to take care of. And a lot of you guys out there don't take care of yourself.
What did I just fucking say? You see? Yes, have a heart. Donate to charity. Take care of people around you. Be a good person. But if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing the thing that, makes you happy, and you're just killing everything about yourself in order to make another person happy, how are you living? And if you're not feeling like you're living, you gotta start. Live for yourself. You have to take care of yourself exactly the same as how you would take care of someone else. More so, because that's the thing. If you would be taking care of somebody else, that person could be taking care of themselves as well. The same lesson goes to everybody. Now, sure, there's a lot of people who can't take care of themselves, but the people who should be taking care of those people who can't take care of themselves are taking care of themselves first, and are then able to do that as something in order to, keep themselves going. Sometimes it's friends, Sometimes it's family that are stuck in that sort of situation. Sure. No, like, think about it. Most people will put in way more concern and effort for other people. You gotta direct the same level of care at yourself as well. Yeah, minimum the same amount. You need to still put way more into yourself because, once again, if you're not living for yourself, you're not living anymore. You can live for other people, but you're putting way too much weight on other people.
You give yourself to others, and you give yourself to others, and some of you may do it selflessly and not expect anything back. Some of you may expect something back, but you give out more than you give to yourself. And you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta be good to yourself. Mm-hmm. You gotta be good to the person that you are, because you're all you got. Mm-hmm. Till the end of your days, friends may come and go. You may have lifelong partners, but you'll always have yourself, and you have to be happy with what you got. And if you're not happy, you gotta make that goal. You gotta make that goal, and you gotta make it happen. No matter what. I'm glad we're out of the cliche part where it's just, do it, and all that stuff.
Just do it! Is this a new video? No, this is a 9-year-old video. And it holds up today, easily. This is one of the best pieces of advice any creator, any creative, any living human could ever take. This is the best piece of advice.
But I mean it so much. I've said it before. I'll say it 1,000,000 times. I believe in you guys. Mm-hmm. I'm a walking testament to the fact that you can literally do anything that you want.
Yep.
But you gotta believe in yourself. So that is the point that I wanted to make tonight in this vlog more than anything, because it's been on my mind this whole weekend. And I use these vlogs as just a way to say whatever the hell's on my mind and take it for what you will, but I hope it helps some of you out there.
Yep.
Just know that I believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself yet, I do. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with my crazy ramblings. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!
And once again, just be kind to yourself. What? Hey, did you enjoy that? Was it funny? Well, come and check it out live over on twitch.tv/freeform_art. Make sure you put the _art. We have lots of fun there. We enjoy ourselves, and we want to see you over there. So come on and hang out. See you in a bit.